So when I say you don't have the power to be free of edging, it sounds a little disempowering, don't it? It's like you don't have the power to be free of edging. What am I saying though? Let's break that down. When we refer to ourselves, when I say me or I say you, what are we really saying there? Now I'm getting a little bit into the spiritual channel, spiritual renaissance, but let's say like this and make it easy. Let's say, because there's duality. There's two. We can say two selves. So when I'm saying me, I, am I referring to my lower self, my ego, mind self? And same when I'm referring to you, what am I referring to? Or am I referring to the higher self? You can say the spiritual self, the soul, the pure consciousness, whatever. That which doesn't have a body, that which survives the death of this body, that which incarnated into this body. I remember when my dad died, that was the only funeral I ever went to. And I remember seeing him in the casket. And I'm like, that is not him. I was like 12 years old. It was so obvious that the presence in the life force that I referred to as dad was gone. That this case, this shell, this was never who he was. The consciousness was driving this car for a while. It just became so evident to me. And then later when I was in India, I saw a bunch of bodies being cremated, and it just made it even more clear. Okay, so without going too much into all that, there's two selves. The higher self, the formless self, that which doesn't die in this lower self, the human mind, body self that definitely has an expiration date on it. When I'm saying that you can't be free of edging, that you don't have the power to be free of edging, I'm referring to this human mind self. It doesn't have the willpower to do this. Do you not know? I think everybody knows. Everyone talks about how difficult it is, including my previous self. I couldn't do it. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we don't even try to do it? Like we just say, it's too much. I can't do it. Might as well just edge. No, what we're saying is it's an invitation. When we admit that we don't have the power to overcome such a deep-seated instinct, especially those who become kind of addicts about it. You heard that saying, surrender to win? There's some space opens when I admit, like, man, this is just too big for me. I can't do it. The compulsion and instinct is so strong to seek out female attraction and attention, which is a form of edging, by the way, a subtle form. That stuff's so strong, I can't not do it. Now, a grosser level form of edging is like the other video I made about the Taoist practice. You stimulate yourself, you get almost to the orgasm, you stop, you lock it, and you try to bring the energy up and do this whole gymnastic thing. Okay, so that's grosser level edging. But even that, I didn't have the power to stop doing. Because it's like, okay, if I'm doing semen retention, I'm not doing the whole PMO thing anymore. I made a video. I said, when we practice semen retention, the tendency to edge is even stronger now. It's logical. If you're not wasting your energy and ejaculating, you're going to have more energy, right? You're going to have a lot more energy. So what to do? So that's why I got into edging back in the day. Because it's like, what are you going to do with all this energy? You see, that's another example of how the human self is powerless over this. It's too much. It's so strong. It's like, I got to touch myself. I can't help it. You got to do it. Oh, that felt good. I got to keep doing it now because it just feels so like I can't help it. That's powerlessness. Admit it. Doesn't make you weak. It will give the opportunity to access your real power. This mind power is nothing, man. Who cares if you can make $1 million? What do you think? $1 million is a big deal? It's like so inferior, this human mind power compared to our true spiritual power. Yogananda said once in his book, he said, we have enough power in 1 gram of flesh to light up the entire city of Chicago. That's what he said. He's making a reference. He's inferring he can sense how much power life force is hiding inside this body, our true self. That's what gives power to this body. This is what this is the animated force that runs this physical body, this life force. Most aren't in touch with that. People are in touch with the machine itself. Why not get in touch with the actual power, the power source that's running the machine? See, people, that's the higher self. People stuck on the lower self. They're just focused on the machine. It's like having a car and you're only focused on the car, you forget that you're driving it. That has the power to transcend edging. How do you access it? You start to be aware of it. You're listening to videos, maybe a light bulb goes off. It's like, oh yeah, I get what he's saying. I'm gonna start paying more attention to that. That's how it starts. And it just keeps going. In the meantime, let yourself edge. You can't help it anyway. You're not gonna call off this whole thing and just be done, be free of it right now. It's impossible. Like, you already know that. So you do the paradox. You try to be aware as much as you can, get in touch with this higher self power that's in you. At the same time, when you're just compelled to do it or act out on these old habits, what are you going to do? Let it happen, man. Give yourself space to do it while continuously trying to transcend it. It's like, this isn't like some new technique I'm giving. It just is what it is. I'm just calling out, it is what it is. Because when sometimes the compulsion's so strong to do it, you're going to do it. So why not just let yourself do it? At the same time, you try to be aware, you pray, you get your lifestyle together so you get more power, and you start to try to not act out when these urges come. You start to get in touch with your higher power, which is stronger than that strong compulsive power that causes you to act out. But it's a game. It takes a while. Like, this is the game that we're in. Somehow we got to build our spiritual muscles to get to where we can bear the discomfort and the sense of power that we feel when these compulsions to edge come. But it takes a little bit. You got to build that power. If you've never been to the gym before and you go to the gym, you're not going to be able to bench press hardly anything, unless you got good genetics or something. But still, even if you do, compared to if you're going to the gym for a year or two, you're going to get more gains. It's the same with the spiritual nature. It's the same with overcoming edging. Overcoming edging's no joke. Not when we break it down on the level that we're breaking it down on. Because edging goes beyond just the whole big draw Taoist technique of stimulating yourself and then stopping before climax and then doing that over and over again. That's the most obvious form of edging. I'm taking it to another level. I'm saying, even if we're lusting, going out in public, trying to get female, attraction and hits of validation and all that, looking at risque pictures on these, I don't even look at this. And what are these sites? Like, I don't know. I know YouTube. Oh, Instagram. That's yeah. People like going on there and getting hits, looking at the half naked girls, and all that's edging, because that's all dopamine hits. You see? So this is what we're trying to transcend. But dopamine addiction is it's the strongest addiction that everyone suffers with, but nobody, there's so many people that have it, they don't even know it's an addiction. There's got to be enough people that don't have it to be able to call it out and say it's addiction. Well, when the whole world has it, nobody knows. We know though, right? Because we're talking about it. Edging is pure dopamine addiction, and that's what keeps us doing it. You can edge, on food, and edge on, like I said, the internet's a huge edging vehicle. So you check yourself. Go on the internet for what you need to go on it for, and then turn it off. Don't keep scrolling. It's endless food and stimulation for your mind, looking on the internet and all that. That makes your nervous system weaker, which then you're more susceptible to edge in the definition that we're giving for this channel, which is through, sexual stimulation and looking at girls and lust and all that. Be aware of how you edge on all the different levels that you can edge. Bring awareness to that. Realize that. Then start working on it. Cut it off. Stop doing it. Go to nature. Go to the beach. Go, do your exercise, whatever. Then you'll start to build a new character, and you'll get in touch with this greater power, and that will show you how to be free of edging. But you first have to realize you don't have the power to do it in your mind. But if you think you have the power, then let that play out. Keep trying. You can't surrender prematurely. And even if one does have some power to stop doing it, do you think that that power is going to make it as easy for you as if you got in touch with this greater power? I'll take the greater power all day long. So if you want to know more about the greater power, you can go to my other channel, Spiritual Renaissance, and let me know how this video did for you. All right? Are you powerless? Can you beat this? Or do you think you need to access your greater power? Have you accessed your greater power? What are some tips on how to access your greater power? Because people are going to ask me, but I think it's good to hear from other people also, not just me all the time. And I appreciate other people answering other people's questions. You're helping me. You see, I got 3 channels. It's a lot of, all right. So yeah, feel free to if people ask questions and you feel you have some experience and you can help shed some light on that question, by all means. And it's good to have more than just have a variety of different angles and different individuals sharing their experience. So this is what the channel's for. Have a good day.